is Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real. Lovely people, shop talkers in the building. How is everything going this morning?
It's going very well.
It's going very well. We like to hear that.
Yes.
We like to hear that. All right, today's topic is acquiring a different taste after the wedding. Boom. Watch that mail. Where you going? What's going on? Tell us what's happening. Your girl got you covered. I got you covered, lovely people. I definitely have you guys covered. We got some hot topics to talk about. First, get that out the way. And there is feedback. So what we gonna do is get that taken care of. Sorry, guys. All right, so we got some hot topics to talk about, to get that stuff out the way. House cleaning, a little housekeeping. And Amber, I'm going to have you start off with the housekeeping. Like, what's going on at the house? What's going on around the way?
At my house?
Yeah, just going on in general. No, just locally, like what's happening generally. How do you find out information?
Social media usually, like my Google news feed is pretty accurate, on point, and then also a lot of information through YouTube. A lot of like breaking news. But I've kind of been in a hole. I've been really focused on my house right now, and so recently my neighbor just passed away, so was very shocking. She's really young. She's like in her early 60s. And passed away abruptly. Apparently, she had lupus, which is very challenging disease, autoimmune disease. And I was shocked. And I recently just got home security installed in my home, so I feel very technology advanced now because I have cameras, and it talks to you. So like front door, back. Door.
Oh, how scary is that?
Yeah, no, it's great. I like it. I told you guys my home invasion story from many years ago. So it happened to me once. So I'm glad that I'm in a position now financially where I can afford to have home security. And what else? And then also I'm doing a big renovation right now. I'm going to be installing a 2-story bookcase. So
okay, that's exciting.
Excited. And then I'm gonna decorate. It's a very small space, footprint wise, but it's 2 stories. It's a stairwell. What currently is a stairwell, and then I'm gonna decorate with taxidermy.
Okay, all right, Nick. Anything going on? What's happening at the home front?
Oh, everything. I'm helping my brother move right now.
Oh, so you ain't got nothing good. You helping other people. That's a blessing. That's a blessing to help other people.
They just bought a house down here, so I'm helping them move in there.
Look how nice everybody is. I want to piggyback on Amber, your thing, where you were talking about, how when I asked you how do you find out things, and you said social media. Man, that's it. You ever had somebody that's like predictable, and they'll be like, "Oh, this happened," and you know that they post their whole life story on the book, and you'd be like, okay, let me check Facebook. Facebook is like number one to know what's happening, who passed, all that good stuff. I was like, oh man.
Exactly. Or when a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this before too, they post subliminals, and you're like, oh yeah, because if you know half of the backstory, you can read their subliminal post to confirm the other half.
Well, but here's the thing. I ain't trying to be funny. It's just like this. You put something out there on Facebook. The person who harmed you, whoever that could have been, why don't you call them?
That's not the point. That's
so, like, it's a diary? Like, it's a book that just...
Some people really treat social media like a diary.
Okay.
Or they do it for, it's like, what is it called? Dry bagging. So people be on social media dry bagging for attention and for validation, to have their feelings validated. And I feel like subliminal posts is a form of dry bagging. It's dry bagging.
Listen, these people don't be dry bagging. I see somebody was in the hospital. I ain't lying to you. They wrote on there, and anyway, I'm just gonna go. Y'all know, insensitive male. Here she go. But you post on there, pray for me, I'm in the hospital. Well, of course, I didn't know that you were in the hospital. Okay, I'll pray for you. And then you post a picture of you in the hospital. Like, I believed you. Like, it went down my news feed, and I was like, oh, man, it was a great picture, though.
They looked at cute?
Oh, cute. Girl. Super cute. I was like, I believed you. Okay.
Right.
And, and usually like other people, I guess, so the dry bagging, some people do that. But then now people just like, forget that dry bagging. Let me get to the point. Pray for me. I'm in the hospital, people. Give me some attention. Hi. I mean, I don't know if you want a card. Like, I don't understand that part of it.
I would think they just want you to be like, oh man, I didn't know that. I'm thinking of you or whatever. Like, I hope you get better. Just some kind words. That's what I would think.
Okay.
I feel like posting the picture when you're in the hospital is similar to posting a picture when you're crying or recording yourself. It's kind of low-key weird to me. But I also feel like if you're in a situation where you are detached from the emotional charge of the situation, like maybe your uncle died or something, and then maybe you want to document everything for them.
Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you're in a position where you're not that emotionally invested in whatever is going on, and you know that they would like to have a picture later on, or some type of memento.
Okay.
The event.
I can get that. What about the person that posts on there, or they post that they're having issues with their significant other, and they put it on the book? Now, okay, so you complaining about some DMs or whatever, and they get messages or whatever it is, and they that's a good one. I'm reading at the same time, listening audience. They posted there that they having issues, and then the chick put in there, stay out my man's DM. Can you please go directly to her?
Not
or
him?
Her,
go to your man.
No, but I mean, if you want to say something.
Right, yeah, you should go, or at her.
Oh, yeah. See. Oh, Amber D. Messy, Amber. Now, what, in the comments, LaShonda from Facebook said, but what if they pass away and folk be like, I didn't even know they were sick?
That's what happened to me.
That works.
Yeah, no, because it's like, I didn't even know. I feel like maybe she told me she had lupus, but she seemed so like it was like mild or in remission or something.
Oh, so she was living her life then. I like that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? She was going through some other things, but mentally, emotionally, but like I didn't know she was that sick to be like gone in 2 days.
Now, yeah, that was fast. But I guess God's timing is quick.
Right.
Blink of an eye, that's quick. Now, for like, if somebody passes away, I respect that because you don't know, especially nobody's allowed out, so you're not really talking to we weren't. You're not really talking to anybody, so for that information, you go on there. But how do you know when is the right time to post on there, of a family member or somebody who passed away? Some people are like, oh, they put it out there so fast. It's like they race to go see who died or post who died first. Nick, go ahead. Go ahead, Nick. I see.
Yeah, that is a pet peeve of mine. Like, people going on and RIP and oh my God, being so dramatic about the person. And you probably going to say hi to them once every 6 months. Instead of letting the family. To me, the family should actually be the first person to post. Especially for those, like if you don't have everybody's numbers, and it's hard to get a hold. Because, phone, the word of mouth and phone, it goes by quick. But if you're friends with a lot of people and you want to let their friends know and everything, let the immediate family post first. The mother, the father, the sibling,
Okay, so if they're not on Facebook, then what?
And word of mouth, because somebody gonna get a hold of the rest of them. But let the immediate family member that is on Facebook post it on Facebook first. Period. Like, but you have friends and friends of friends and associates going on there posting the person's picture and with they long dramatic, oh my gosh, and no.
I'm not gonna lie. If it's more than 3 sentences, I don't read them. I don't. Even them games where they put you in, you know what I mean? I don't read all of them. I go right to my name and see I'm the one that told. That's why I was wondering, like, how do you know and when? And so, thank you. I agree with you, Nick. Let the family post first and then go from there. Right. Or how about reaching out to somebody on there and be like, is it okay? Would you mind? Like if you post a picture and stuff like that. A good friend of mine, when he passed, I ended up reaching out to the brother. I was like, are you okay with me posting? I post that pic. He was like, absolutely. You just took it with him. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. I want to be sensitive. See, I'm not that bad.
I always wait until I see a family member post first.
Oh, I ain't fishing. Look, I ain't fishing to see who all there. Go ahead. What you got, Amber D?
Now that I think about it, we've actually had several deaths in the family over the last couple of years, especially with COVID and everything. And I don't post nothing. I don't. If somebody passes, like my grandmother passed away recently, I didn't post that.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not even on social media for real. But like, that's not something I don't know. I feel like that's very private to me. That's how I feel about it. Like.
All right, let's go ahead and tell the people about this.
Same thing as putting it in the newspaper.
Right.
Well, yeah, you're right. All right, let's go to this next thing. Got to do some house cleaning for the people, housekeeping for the people. Listen, parents, watch your NyQuil, watch your NyQuil, watch your NyQuil. It is a challenge. It's called the Sleepy Challenge that's trending on TikTok. They frying chicken in NyQuil. So you're cooking this chicken in NyQuil. I got to tell you, it's a dangerous game. Don't do it. Please don't do it. If you notice that your NyQuil or any type of medication, your syrups are going low, check your children. Check your children, please. And check your cupboards. And I told you guys before, probably about a year ago, with the pasting, the toothpasting. What is that? Yeah, it kind of gives you the effect of being drunk. So what they do, they take the toothpaste and rub it on their nipples. Yeah, this is a thing. This is a thing. It is. I work, I work with the youth, and they came and asked for some toothpaste. So school nurses, I'm trying to be careful to make sure I'm good. School nurses out there, if you have some students, and these were the 5th through 8th, if they ask for toothpaste and they don't ask for a toothbrush, That's what made me say zzz. They're not brushing their teeth. So you'll probably think, oh, they want to brush their teeth. Here they go. We're running out of toothpaste. What's really going on? That's what's happening. I want to make you guys aware. I'm not telling them how to do it, but I want to make the adults aware of what's going on with the youth. I got to put it out there, okay? You got to reach one, teach one. That's what they're doing with the toothpaste. And it was a challenge as well, all over the internet. So they take it, boom, rub the toothpaste on the nipples, and they had the effect of being intoxicated. Go ahead. Don't ask me who started it. Don't ask me who thought of it. Don't ask me who said let's cook some chicken and NyQuil. I don't know. And we're going to leave that right there. What you got, Amber, real quick? Because we got to get down.
Commentary. I mean, I feel like this is Darwin Awards. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and sound like a boomer.
Go ahead.
Like, whatever happens is whatever happens. If you're that dumb. I'm sorry. Like,
the views.
They're young, they're impressionable, but where is the intelligence?
These are you. These are young children. Listen. Okay, let me say this. The view of Amber D is not the view of everyone on the staff of Shop Talk with Mel. That is clearly Amber D's opinion, and she voiced it. Hey! Yes! Look, all right, let's go ahead and let's move on to the Dallas doctor, since we're talking about that. There's a doctor, he's an anesthesiologist, who was actually, he's jailed. Doctor, anesthesiologist. He was doing poison bombs. That's what they were calling them. Poison bombs. And those poison bombs, you're like, Mel, what's a poison bomb? Real quick. He was accused of tampering with IV bags. I'm not going to say what he put in the IV bag. I'm not doing that. Because these are adults here. But you guys can check it out. He's called the medical terrorist. And what ended up happening, a doctor ended up being dehydrated, and she decided to get a bag to hydrate herself, give herself an IV. And it was one of those, air quotes, poison bombs. And with that poison bomb, it killed her, caused her to have a heart attack. So that's what's happening, is exploding on patients. So I don't know if he was getting off on it. I don't know, but you guys can read up on that. Bishop Lamar Whitehead at it again. Now listen here, oh Bishop Whitehead is here again. Now, he had it. Now, he done choked the lady. If y'all didn't see that, Bishop Lamar Whitehead, that was the one who got robbed on social media live TV. It was being recorded live, streaming live, and somebody came in and had a gun up to his head. Now, here's what's interesting. The lady gets up. They don't know if she was there just clowning the church, going to see if he was real or fake or not, or if she had the Holy Spirit. That clip is out there for you guys. You could go to the Shop Talk with Mel Facebook page, and you can see that. It's posted. And she walks past. I thought she was speaking in tongues. And then he was like, I guess speaking in tongues. I don't know, sound like some mockery to me, but that's just my opinion. And then when she walked by, he grabbed her by the neck to put her out. Talking about get her out. He grabbed her by the neck. Now, here's what's interesting to me. You had two dudes that came in. Your butt got on your knees in your little designer suit. And now it's a female. Now you want to go ahead and just push her and try to manhandle her. She said she got a scar or something like that. But they did. They jailed him. And then they released him and said that they came in, I guess, with ill will. So he ended up being okay. And he was telling them to leave because they were recording. Did you guys see it?
Yeah, I also read some of the story. I guess she threatened, according to him, she threatened his wife and his two.
He said because she was going toward them. You know how when you walk around the church tarrying?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, that's what he said. Now the man had a gun up. You had your children. Okay. What? Stop. Go ahead, Amber.
Typical.
Okay.
I can say it's a typical for certain, certain men will, they will bend the knee. Game of Thrones. They will bend the knee to another man, but they'll sit here and buck up on a woman. And he definitely seems like that type. Like I said, where's his credentials? Until I see it with my own eyes, I don't believe he's any type of man of the cloth, any title.
Okay. All right. This just came.
He just didn't walk up on the right woman. Let's go buck back.
Okay, we'll see. Look, we'll see. You want to go to the comment real quick?
So, LaShonda Cornwell from Facebook said, somebody always threatened his wife and child. Shaking my head, he's something else.
And that was what he said, even that time, the very first time when he got on there. And then when he cussed that girl out, I can't even remember their name. We done talked about it. Let me put this, I got to say this I got to say this real quick. This just came across. We talked about Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears. So, Tiffany Haddish alleged complaints, I'll say, she's clear from that lawsuit. Okay, so it diminished. Word to the curb is that they reached a settlement. Now, I didn't hear, as far as in the statement, that the victims, air quotes, the victims stated they put her name and said that they cleared and all. They said nice things about her, and they known her for a long time, but I didn't hear Ari Spears, so I wanted to put that out there. I don't want to give you just a little bit and not a lot. If you know what I mean. The a lot is always they're cleared. You put the worst out and then you don't finish the, put the good back out. But like, oh, okay, they were found innocent. But anyway, like I said, word to the curb, they reached a settlement. Utah mom is carrying her son's baby. Talk about a mother's love. Did you hear about that story?
I feel like I might have
read about it. Okay.
I think I might have read about it. Incest is nothing new. Usually you think it's a father to the daughter, but it does happen where it's a mother to a son as well. It's disgusting. It's an abomination.
Okay. What's your thoughts on when you hear the Utah mom is carrying her son's baby, Nick?
In vitro fertilization because his wife may not be able to.
So you saw the story. Okay, that's the story. Talk about a mother's love. She's carrying the baby because her daughter-in-law is unable. Now, I had a child. I guess I don't love my son that much. I'd be like,
Yeah. I mean,
but I guess it's safer than having like a surrogate.
Oh, right. That's what I was going to say, because there was more closeness in the genes. So it's like,
and the surrogate at the end change their mind and take off with the child.
Right.
Or take your husband.
The surrogacy parents change their mind and try to dump the baby on the surrogate.
Oh, we know a celebrity that did that.
Yeah.
You remember that? I remember that. Look. I'm like, I remember that.
Wow.
All right, let's go ahead and get into what we need to get into. The Nia Long. Nia Long is trending. Nia Long is trending. I'm just going to go ahead and just get it going. She is trending because her fiance, allegedly, I'm saying alleged to protect myself, was cheating on her. Now, here's the deal. They had a spiritual marriage. I see Amber going, turning, the eye roll, listening audience. They had a spiritual marriage, but she was trying to, looking for houses down there. And this came out. Here's what's sad about it. The Twitters is acting up. And the Twitters is acting like just because you're cute, they're like, oh, no, not her. She pretty. Why he cheated on her? How many other people got cheated on that was cute? I.e. Halle Berry. I.e. Beyonce. I.e. me. Let's put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So, how many other... It's like, okay, since you cute, you can't get cheated on?
Right.
Stupid. I feel like that's messaging that's originated from men. Because women understand that it has nothing to do with looks.
I feel bad because she kind of got drugged into it. He doing his own thing, and he's a coach of an NBA team. You guys can look that information up. They kept his name quiet. But here's the thing. The team suspended him for an entire year for this. It sounds like it's something else going on because I can't see what you do in your personal life. You're not married. Well, they're spiritually married, but not legally on paper.
Well, have they been together long enough for it to be considered common law marriage?
Yeah, 2010. Don't quote me on it, but I think it was 2010.
Yeah,
but I don't even know if they even had it. They got a spiritual thing. But if I'm working, I decide to cheat on my husband, my job shouldn't be suspending me for 10 years. But that's my personal.
No fraternization clause because the person he cheated with.
Well, yeah, we got that. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then also, there are companies who have like moral standards for their employees, and it's usually in their contract. So if you're not adhering to your contract, then oh well. And morally, he was wrong too. So I mean, I still don't feel sorry for him.
Okay, so Nick was getting ready to tell y'all what the deal is. Go ahead.
They suspended him because there's no fraternization clause. The person that he was cheating with is married, and they work together. So, like,
that's right. A whole year, though. A whole year, like it's consensual. What's really going on? A whole year. But y'all already know I'm gonna give it to you. And when I find out, the more that this story unfolds, the more I will give to you. Go ahead.
Is the person he cheated on with who is also an employee of the same company were they also suspended for a year?
Probably not. Not that I'm aware of. But here's my thing. By being that team, it's like, who told?
It's probably messy. It's probably because that's what happens to cheaters. They get sloppy and loose with it. But Nick, you said that she did get suspended too?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I don't know.
It was him.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking like, oh yeah, he got suspended. What about her?
Exactly. So
what
that's
about
the only thing I would say. They both need to be suspended.
All right, let's get started on today's topic. Now we got them hot topics out of the way. Let's get started on today's topic. So today's topic is acquiring a different taste after the wedding. What does that mean? What does that mean to you real quick, Nick?
To me, desiring someone else other than your spouse. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Mm-hmm. Your thoughts, Amber D?
I would agree. Either a different relationship dynamic, like you want to be polyamorous, or you have like your sexual orientation has changed.
Okay.
After the wedding. That's what I would think. That's how I would interpret the title.
Okay. All right. Well, today's topic, let's give a round of today's guest, rather, excuse me, is the deacon. And y'all know y'all gonna bust out laughing because I'm laughing already to myself. The deacon is on here and we gonna talk about it. So let's give a round of applause to the deacon.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Yes. We gonna keep him covered.
Anonymous.
Yes, anonymous, covered. We're going to keep him covered for his sake because we don't know, people might be mad.
Most definitely.
I heard that, Deacon. Thank you for coming on Shop Talk with Mel. There was a conversation and we talked about like after marriage, like when you acquire a different taste after the wedding and being married and you decide, this might not work for me. And he gave some great advice as far as a solution to that when you acquire a different taste after the wedding. You want to go ahead and elaborate?
Yes. First of all, good morning, Mel. Good morning to your guests, Amber and Nick. You guys are very deep this morning. You're very knowledgeable and very wise. So I'm happy to be a part of this session this morning.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
My experience is that, throughout the Bible, they've had different arrangements for marriage. You had to go to a cow, something when you wanted to marry somebody's daughter, or there was a time frame which you had to work for that person as an employee in order to marry one of the daughters. So my experience is that maybe we should start thinking about other, maybe temporary fixes, maybe like a 4-year renewal on marriage or relationships. Just like you have, you have to renew your driver's license. That way you wouldn't be blindsided by, well, I changed my mind or you changed your mind. You know, you put in 5, 10, 15, 20 years into a relationship and the other person already from day one had 1 foot out the door. So I'm thinking maybe this renewal plan would kind of like create a level playing field for both the woman and the man.
Okay, because a lot of people associate marriage with a business.
Yes, a contract.
Yeah, so I want your thoughts on that, Amber. What you think about that? Like a driver's license?
Yes.
Sorry, I wouldn't do that because I do feel like marriage is supposed to be forever. I mean, because as far as the renewal, you have to renew daily. I remember there was a show with Viola Davis and her husband, and they were talking about how you have to recommit to your marriage on a daily basis. So you could opt out at any moment. I do think it's good to have touch points within your marriage where you say, okay, let's assess our union and where we're at with it and how we feel about it, and do we want to move forward, and where are our strengths, where are our weaknesses, and do like a this is like getting into work, but like a threat assessment, but type of thing. But
they said marriage is work.
No, I don't.
Oh, I lost her. Okay, Nick, what's your thoughts?
I agree with Amber. It's like you should be renewed on a daily basis.
Exactly, building up to be married. But once you put in the work, once you paid the dowry, or whatever was the exchange, then you're committed to that person for the rest of your life. And biblically speaking, yes, there were a lot of figures who have multiple wives, but they were never allowed to drop their first wife for the second wife. Now, they may have favored the second wife or the third wife or the fourth wife, but they were never allowed to just discard the first one. So, no.
So, no. That's a no for you, dog. Huh? Interesting you should say that. Now, if you look at all the other animals, I think they all have, and countries, cultures, they have multiple wives.
Yes.
Why is there a problem? Why can't the female have multiple husbands?
Right. Exactly.
Well,
if we want to do it like that, come on then. Like, why is it that when the male go out there, like you said, and it require a different taste and do what they want to do, but as soon as the female do it, it's a whole problem, and then the male act like they about to die a double death? Why? Somebody answer that for me, please.
Well, and actually, I also wanted to point out that I believe marriage was created by man. Well, I mean, it's created by God, but it's been pushed by man because, the Bible says as a believer that marriage is a good thing and God is pleased and it's a good thing, right? And then if you're not a believer, scientifically, it has been proven that men benefit from marriage. Women don't.
Oh.
So marriage is for a man's benefit.
Oh,
and so it's like, I feel like as far as why can't women have I feel like there's a little bit of biology, but now with like DNA testing, all that stuff, it's no longer relevant.
No.
But I feel like it's all about the man's comfort, and I feel like dangerous modern women are like, wait a minute, you're not paying a dowry for me.
Go ahead.
You getting the cow and the milk for free.
Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead, Deacon. What you got? Go ahead, Deacon. What you got?
Oh, we're talking about the milk, so now we're talking about the woman's body part versus the man's part, which is most valuable, huh? How about a level playing field here? Modern day women, they don't stay home. They have careers, they have jobs. So, you're talking about old school, what our grandmothers went through versus what modern day women have. The modern day women are educated. You're very flexible. You're very diversified. A man today has to listen to the demands and the agreement of the woman. Women will come into a marriage saying, look, if you want to stay at home, wife, I'm not the one.
At least At least that's presented at the beginning, though, so you know what you're getting. Now, when you come one way and then you flip the script and you acquire a different taste, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's really not fair for the recipient.
Well, and that goes both ways. There are a lot of women today have found out when they have married a man who has less income, less educational skills, then if they get a divorce, they end up paying the man alimony. You know, I have women told me that they will never marry another man again because it's hard to find a man on their level of economic status. So, you know, I think things are switching now. It's more level that women have more to lose than men because more black women are in the workforce than black men.
Go ahead, Nick.
But that is something that they know going into it. So therefore, if that's a problem, then don't get married.
Oh, God.
I completely agree with Nick, but I think that as far as within the black community and particularly with black women, we are encouraged to settle. And then there was actually a black lady who's a divorce attorney. She does like a seminar thing, and one of the biggest, because at modern times women initiate divorce 70% of the time. Yes. So women are living marriages. Yes. So the reason why the divorce rate is so high is because women are settling and women are encouraged to settle, and then they get in the marriage and they're like, I wish I hadn't settled. And then they divorce.
Well, isn't that the same as back in the day when most men settled? They went to the steel mills, they went to GM, they went to these other factories, and they ended up marrying women on a lower educational status. You know, they was 15, 16, 17, 18 when they started dating. And a lot of these young ladies, because of that time frame, they didn't have the education. They didn't have the opportunity that most modern day women have. So the man settled too by marrying somebody younger, not bringing the same thing to the table.
Okay, hold on. I want to speak to that. See, I wasn't under the impression that the man settled. I was under the impression that the man, this is my thoughts, that the man couldn't get anybody on. Yeah, he couldn't get anybody because he was slow. Wait, he was slow. So if you look at the age and you be like, oh, okay, well, they already know I was in slow classes. So maybe if I date somebody younger, they'll be like, oh, they'll think that I'm smart and I'm the man, and they won't tell me to sit down and be like, boy, bye. You know what I mean? So you figure you are more macho if you date a younger female. That's just my thoughts. One more thing. Amber, I want to speak to this when you were talking about you think that marriage came from a man. I believe monogamy came from a man, an incel man. You want to say what incel is for the newer listeners?
Wait a minute. Repeat that. I missed it.
I think that the monogamy came from a man. You said marriage started with a man. But I think from an incel man. Involuntary celibacy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I want this chick. Monogamy. We're going to get married when you can only sleep with me. Because you know, if you got your options, you're going to be out there. Go ahead, Nick. What you got?
She said monogamy can't. Listen, that do sound like that. Yeah,
he going to take you. The deacon going to come by and sweep you away.
Well, I can't get over that. That's a good one, though. That does sound like that incel man is the one that made him. Listen, this whole thing is like, we've talked about this before. Talk about your wants, your needs, everything. Like, before you say, I do, please, and thank you, that will solve all of this issue.
Well, then somebody's going to say, I don't.
Right.
After the fact, though.
Right. But see,
you need to say I don't beforehand.
And here's the thing. I'm a realist. Most little girls plan their wedding before they even find the groom.
Right.
So if it's like, okay, this is something that I've always wanted to do, let me do what I need to do to get this man. So you might be sexing him. You doing everything you got to do. He be like, oh, this is it. I'm going to marry you. I do. If you told that man, listen, I really don't like sex. I'm only doing this to get you. If you were actually 100% honest,
yes, yeah,
it would not go down.
That's right.
So it's like, let me get him. So to say the things before, like, I'm not a sexual person at all. I'm just doing what I got to do to get this. And you got a good job. And I'm looking for stability. So here. So I guess, Deacon, you're right. You know, some guys, you know, they may date down.
Yes.
Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm looking. I ain't gonna be looking down for the listening audience. I'm looking in the air. I'm looking for a future. Like, what? Okay. Let me see what's out here. Go ahead. What you got, Amber?
I was just gonna say, you know, as far as like our grandmother's generation, yes. At least within the Black community, Black women have always worked in American history. So there was a lot compared to other demographics. There were way more Black mothers and wives in the workforce. And then as far as Mel, what you were talking about, as the men back in the day, dating down, I agree with your initial comment, which is that they really weren't dating down. And I think it's still something that happens today, like where a man will. So first of all, as far as like, oh, she's less educated, oh, she has less income. That's usually not a top priority for a lot of men. It's usually looks in their body.
Well, let's ask a man. Deacon, what's the top priority?
Well, it depends on what age group. Now, I think with women going more outgoing and more independent, a man automatically understands this woman. You have to come to the table with something to offer. Also, you know, women they're more aggressive in their thinking, as they should be, because everything has evolved. People have evolved. Time has evolved. So I think today, a man that wants a woman who has a beautiful mind. Not necessarily her outward appearance. If she's a beautiful person with a beautiful mind, that's what all a man can ask for.
And that age group is what, 40 and up?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Look at R. Kelly. I think he dated according to his intellectual capacity, and that's why he likes those young girls.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about all. We can go back in slavery and talk about, you know, all the things that occurred with women of all color, and they got away with it. So, R. Kelly happened to be a target, and as Bill Cosby. Not saying they weren't guilty, but if you're going to target bad men, target all bad men: white men, black men, yellow, purple, green, all of them. You know, yeah. So I think it's a bit unfair to how the news media will target the black man and condemn for all of his perversion and acts against atrocities against women. Let's put all men on that stage.
Now watch this. Some will say that black women are putting our black men in there.
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't. I said some will say. Some will say, and that's what's happening. What you got, Amber?
I have a question. So, and I agree with you, Deacon. And my follow-up question to that is, what are black men doing about how they're being presented in media or being overrepresented for crime?
Well, we're struggling right now with our black woman. Our priority right now is to have peace in our own home with our own black woman. I mean, you know, all that's to the side. If we can't survive with our own black woman, then all that, it doesn't matter.
But you were talking about how black men are being blamed for or being overrepresented.
Wait. Listen, I'm so sorry. This disguise is killing me. This disguise is killing me. I'm like, and I'm looking, and I'm sorry. This is serious, but and everybody know you're talking about. These disguise got me on the floor rolling. I want to just like run out the room laughing. Okay. All right. For the listening audience, if you want to check us out on YouTube, you can definitely do that at Shop Talk with Mel, and you can actually see us and the wonderful disguise that's there. I want to go ahead and complete your thought, and then I have a scenario for you guys.
No, I'm just, because we were talking about how black men are being unfairly represented in the media. Mm-hmm. And so you're saying is black men can't address it because they're having problems with black women.
I'm saying that's our priority is our woman. I mean, if your woman is not happy, then your family is not happy. Everything is just chaotic with black men. I mean, we came through this struggle against slavery and oppression and miseducation, misdirection, false religions. I mean, we're trying to grab hold to our woman and say, look, we're in this together. We're not enemies.
But media in America is not controlled by black women. So how can the conflict between black women and black men resolving that? What does that have to do with black men's image in media?
Well, our oppressor is not us. It's not us. It's not the black man or black woman. So we know that. So can we agree on that? Can we build a foundation on that we're facing the same issues and problems? And they're not coming from each other. They're coming from outside.
And who's letting them in? That's the thing.
Well, and I feel like black women have more, like maybe within the last 5-10 years, have taken more control of their image and representation in media. But personally, I'm just speaking for myself, black men are responsible for their own image. And it's up to black men to correct it. And that, maybe it was just the way you responded, but it sounded like, black men can't fix their image because black women. Because we got to focus on black women. Because black women, we're fighting with black women, so we can't go correct and do correctional promotion, which it sounds like a deflection to me.
All we have is the black woman. That's all we have. That's all the black men have. If we can't build a solid relationship there, then the rest of our life is going to be catch up. We're playing catch up.
How are black men building solid relationships with black women?
Well,
as a collective.
That's why we're on here talking now.
Coming up with a solution.
Trying to come up with a solution. We know religion won't do it. Miseducation won't do it. So it's not working. The divorce in the church, outside the church, it's almost equal now. So we know religion isn't working.
So I just feel like, as far as what
it sounds like. Black girl, come here, some type of Bam Bam type thing, caveman type mentality. Just shut up and put up, and we'll be fine. That's what I'm hearing. Huh?
Our vice president is a black woman right now.
Yes. And what do you see?
What do I see? I see the same problems that black men run into when they run into politics. There's always a glass ceiling how far what you can do in a Eurocentric culture. We understand it. We know that.
Okay, so is there a glass ceiling in the house? And is that, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to shatter that glass ceiling between the black man and the black woman.
Okay.
We're on the same page. We should have the same goals, ambitions. But to do that, we must understand who our enemies are. We are not enemies towards each other.
No, we're not. And yes, we need to understand each other. And that's what it sounds like. You know, we got the enemy, okay, but you don't want the enemy in your house.
No, you don't.
So that's one thing. Now I want to put this.
You preaching now.
I'm preaching. Oh shoot. So I want to give you guys this scenario, and this is a true story. A man is dating two women. They don't know about each other because monogamy is it. That's what we know. Monogamy, monogamy as you're dating, as you're collecting data, which really, anyway, that boggles my mind when people feel as though when you're dating, you have to exclusively date this individual. Doesn't mean that you're like sleeping with them. I'm just saying dating. You're collecting data or data, however you want to pronounce it. And so he's seen 2 women and he's ready to settle down. Then he finally decides which one he wants to marry. Neither one of them know about each other. So he marries the one. They have their wedding, and then the wife runs into the ex-girlfriend and find out that he was dating both of them at the same time. And she divorced him. Deacon, I'm going to ask you last. Amber, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think she should have divorced him or no?
It depends. It's because I think the issue is deception. And basically having a double life in dating. If you're dating and you're in a non-exclusive connection, then you need to communicate that. And you would need to ask that. You need to verbally discuss that. If it was verbally discussed and he was like, oh, it's only you, he's a liar.
Right. But that wasn't discussed. It was just an assumption.
It's an assumption. So it's her
a 2-year assumption.
Right. Which I feel like, as far as, so that's her fault, but then it also is a reflection on him. Because just because you can don't mean you should. Just because you have the opportunity to rob somebody because they left their purse on the floor like a dummy doesn't mean you should go do it. And because they left their purse on the floor like a dummy, that means, oh, you're no longer a bad person because they opened themselves up to be taken advantage of.
Okay, Amber D, wait a minute. How do you have him as a bad person?
It's not omission. It's a form of deception. It's omission, and it's very intentional. Omission. Okay.
Oh, from him. But he's in his happy place. So if I'm dating somebody and I meet somebody else, I'm cool. I'm content. Okay, you're there. What? Come on. Go ahead, Nick. What you got? I want to hear Nick real quick.
Should she have divorced him? No. I mean, because you're the one that's married to him. Should they have talked about, should she have that conversation with him and ask him why? Yes. But that was far-fetched to go and divorce. The man is married to you, sweetie. He chose you between the 2 women he was dating. Now, he was wrong. Oh, you want to date 2 people? Give me the option to date 2 people so I can pick. Let me decide.
Now watch this. Had he not dated 2, so he was torn between. I'm just, for the sake of conversation, he's torn between. So he doesn't know who he wants to be with at that time. And then he makes a choice. And you condemn him. He didn't acquire a different taste after the wedding. He wanted to make sure. That's just me talking. Go ahead, Deacon. What you got on that?
Every marriage, every relationship goes through the test of time. Unless you have blinders like a mule, you're going to be distracted. Something's going to flash here. Something's going to glitter. And I agree with Nick. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Seek counseling. Get counseling. See if you can work this thing out. Maybe somebody didn't pay you enough attention on the man or the woman, either side. But I'm saying, let's work out. Let's talk it out. Let's go back to the foundation of why we're together. What are we trying to build? Push these distractions aside.
But would that be a distraction? Amber, I'm going to ask you that. Would that be a distraction, though?
What is a distraction? What do you mean? The past or the counseling?
Well, he said go to counseling and put the distractions aside. But would that be a distraction? I don't think that's a distraction.
I don't think it's a distraction either. Like I said, I think it's a reflection of his character. And like what is it called? The decisions you choose to make when no one's watching, when there's no accountability, how do you choose to move? Because there was none, because it wasn't verbally discussed. So he didn't owe her nothing, but still, that's what he chose to do. You know, that's how I looked at it. And then also, I can't remember. I'll come back to it, but yeah.
I'll come back to it. Okay, see, I'm with Nick and the Deke. I wouldn't divorce him because guess what that told me? That told me he was 100% sure I was who he wanted to be with.
Right.
Go ahead. Go.
Okay, so it came back to me on that subject. Yeah, I feel like it's an indication that he wasn't sure.
Oh.
Because I feel like I've never been in that position. And I think most people genuinely are not in that position. And that's why he was able to make a choice eventually, because you will always like one person more than the other. When people are like, I love them equally, I love them both. No. Well, you're going to favor one a little bit more than the other. And that's why he chose her. But, I don't know, maybe I'm selfish or something, but I just feel like I want a partner who thinks I'm amazing. Like I'm the cream of the crop. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Ain't no other woman coming close to me. Like what? That's how I want my partner to think about me. So there ain't supposed to be no competition. If you think, well, she's cool and I like her, but this other one over here, she's pretty cool too, and I really like them both, and I'm gonna have to sit here and ride the fence for a couple months, for a couple of years to make a decision. No, sir. Bye.
Okay,
bye.
Wait a minute.
He don't want neither one of you that much. He's just settling because he want to get married because he needs a caretaker.
Oh, okay. Let's look at it this way. How do you know if you the cream of the crop if you ain't got no competition?
There's always competition. Like Deacon was saying, there's always distractions. Even after you get married, we all got eyeballs. We can all see other people. You will see your competition. Competition will always be there.
Okay. And see, I'm with Nick on this one. I'm looking like, okay, and I would rather you date and be sure than to be with me and acquire a different taste after the wedding.
Right.
See, that you don't know if you didn't try. Right. And you said that we don't get that opportunity. Most of us don't get that opportunity, but most of us do. But we're dating. How many times have you dated somebody and then somebody else slid in and you're like, okay, and then you break up with that one to go to that one?
Oh, no, that's not what I meant. I mean, we don't be in that position where a lot of people be like, not a lot of people. Some people say, I'm dealing with two people simultaneously and I like them both equally. Most person is going to pick one or the other and say, I like this one better.
After a while, you pick one or the other.
You're going to pick one or the other or be like, oh, I like this one. This one's much better. Whereas this person in this situation is like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like that's a little bit like dragging it on a little bit.
But he didn't say that. You projected that. And clearly, but it is exactly that. He wasn't sure. So he's like, okay, I like both of them. Maybe, and like what Deke was saying when he gave the description of dating over 40 or, getting married over 40 and what's important over 40. So if you look at it and you say, okay, this person does this and this is what's important to me, and this person has these qualities, and I like these too. What's most important? So should we not have options? Or if we call Amber D, it's like, oh, okay, if you calling me, it's exclusively just you and me.
No, I mean, if it wasn't discussed, like I said, he didn't owe her that, but I just feel like if you're going to deal with multiple people,
you just feel betrayed. You feel betrayed after finding out.
Like it's something you need to discuss. But if you did not tell someone you're dating for 2 years that you're entertaining others, I feel like there's a level of deception to that.
Okay, so if you're single, you feel as though that you owe somebody an explanation. Go, Nick. I want you to answer that one.
I'm on the fence on that one. Put it this way. If you don't discuss it with both parties, you get caught. That happened to me very, 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 very long time ago before my first marriage.
School's in.
And I got caught up at a birthday party.
But see,
the one,
and
so
see, that's okay. So, well, then that's a side piece. You know what I mean? You up here like Betty Ray.
It wasn't a side piece because I was not officially dating either one.
See?
One I had been talking to for a while before I started talking to the other one.
You met the other one.
And, I was saying one was...
So are we... Okay, so let me ask you this, Deacon. So are we not allowed to choose?
Well, we're talking about availability here. Women who work 2 and 3 jobs and work, long work hours, they're starting to run into the same problems that a man did when he worked a lot of hours. And his wife was happy. She had a $300,000 home, car, bank account. But she said, "You're not here. You're not spending.
I'm lonely.
You're not spending." So here comes the mailman, the milkman come along, pays them attention, buy them a Happy Meal, and they're gone. They're gone.
So, which way is the scale teetering?
Well, it's going back to communication. If the woman is working too many hours, cut back. Spend more time with your husband. Spend more time with your family, and vice versa. Whoever's working all the hours, and you have the most important thing to your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend is spending time with them.
And that is important. But if you spend time and you're not working, I'm out.
Well,
yes. And
it's the lesser of two evils.
That's where the work-life balance, the work-life and the home-life balance comes in. Both parties have to learn to balance both, because you have to work to maintain your household and live, but you also need that time for yourself and that time together to continuously work on your marriage so that you don't have this issue. And it's hard nowadays, the cost of living and everything going up, but you absolutely have to make that time.
Date nights. You gotta have date nights.
Exactly. Doing those date nights to do, spontaneous stuff, but you have to make sure you set aside that time for that. And a lot of times, especially with, I'm not gonna say with Black folks, people in general in marriages, you don't do that anymore, and that's what's missing.
More time in church and more time with your mate.
And time for each other, where you block out everybody. If you have children, you got to block out you got to block the kids out when it's just the two of you spending time. There's no friends, no phone, no social media, no parents. I repeat, no parents, no children, just you two.
No parent. It's getting personal. Shots fired.
But I'm just saying, you need to set aside time for your spouse. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
Bills are going to constantly come. The kids are always need something. Your parent are always claiming they need something. And that's on both sides. But you have to set aside time for you and your spouse in order to, like I said, have that effective communication, in order to keep hope alive. That's what I'm going to say. Keep hope alive.
If you don't, somebody else will.
And that's what you're gonna have. But let's break it all the way down real quick. You got to go back to just with life itself. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You got those 5 in the physiological needs. Your food, shelter, all that other stuff, and then your safety needs. So this is just alone. And then you need to belong. You need to feel loved. Just like, okay, you want that relationship. Then the respect. esteem. You got to have that. You have to have that respect there. Okay. And then self-actualization, where it's like, this is something I've always wanted to achieve, this goal, so that I feel like I'm the best me that I can be. So once you do that and you have all that together, then you go and you join, you know, get into a marriage, you join someone else. And if they're missing those 5 keys, then there's an issue. And then what happens is they're missing it prior to getting with you. And then they get with you. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, my physiological needs are being met. I feel safe. He working, you know, all these hours. I feel safe. Now I need to feel loved, but I'm married and I'm alone. So I'm missing that.
Right.
And here comes acquiring a different taste after the wedding. And then the esteem. He's always working. So he's not telling you, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, I respect you. What he's saying is, I'm tired, and she's probably still cooking, cleaning, and doing everything else. And if she has children, mothering. And then, guess what? I've always wanted to do this. So my foundation is stable, and he made this stable for me. You know, it's like, I love him, but these are things that I want to do now. So thank you for my stability. But now I want to do something I've always wanted to do. I want to be respected by my peers. And maybe, I didn't want to work at first. I said I was okay being a housewife because I needed that. But now I'm able to be everything that I can be. So now I want to get a job outside the house. And then that causes friction because husband is at home like, oh, wait, what you trying to do? Am I losing control?
Yes, exactly.
So does that happen because of the lack of control? I'm asking you, sir, as a man.
Well, a man will start feeling a little bit intimidated. Now she's going to work. She's dressing up. She's looking good. She's putting on, the best face. And around home, he's getting...
The what face?
Her best face.
Oh, her best face. Oh, okay. I thought you said best face. I'm like, what is that?
He's getting plain James at home, the sweatpants and all that. So he's starting to think, oh, who's at work that you're trying to impress? So, yeah, it's a little bit of fear that comes in. And I'm sure women feel the same way. Their man's going to work every day. He's got all this cologne on. He's buying new outfits. He got a new hair look. It's like, who you trying to impress on your job?
Right.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. On to the next. Who you trying to impress at your job? There comes the argument.
Yes. Woo.
So, now there's an argument. And instead of going to your spouse to say, hey, I think this will look nice on you, or you should do your hair like that, or why don't you get dressed? There goes that argument. You see how those, and I don't want to call those distractions because that's somebody's reality. And it's like, when I met you, you were this way.
Right.
And now you are somebody else now that I have you. And you are causing me to acquire a different taste, the taste I had before the wedding, that you actually exhibited. And you let it go. Let's talk about a solution.
Yeah, sometimes couples get, I don't want to say,
complacent?
Yeah. And you just, after a while, it just becomes routine. And instead of keeping it fresh and keeping it on top and continuing to do what you always did, you just get into a routine. And it's like, I'm not even gonna lie, you stop trying to impress your significant other because you have them at that point.
Okay, go ahead, Amber.
Maybe nowadays you got to stay impressing that person because you want to keep doing what you did. What you did to get them, you need to continue to do to keep them. Because if not, that next heifer is waiting around the corner.
Why she gotta be a heifer, Nick?
Because she is what she is, and I'm gonna call it that. That next heifer is around that corner, peeping.
Wait a minute. So she got the heifer, air quotes. The heifer is coming. She got to be a heifer because you lazy?
Yeah.
Clean up woman.
No, yeah, well, I talked about Betty right there.
Clean up woman is a heifer. But nah, you seriously have to, because there are, and the crazy thing is, like with some females experience and males, like nobody was probably paying attention to that man or that woman before you. But after you get with that person, then all of a sudden here comes everybody peeking around the corner. And I'm not just going to put it on the man or just put it on the woman. It goes both ways. Now all of a sudden that person is showing interest because you've shown interest. Exactly. And so therefore what you did to get that man, you better keep him. You better do the same thing to keep him. And yeah, I have been guilty of being complacent. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been guilty of being complacent. No, a couple of them.
Guess how we know? Because you called the stranger a heifer. I want to wait. Let's hear from Amber real quick. Let's hear.
I'm saying you can't. You have to keep it consistent.
Okay,
like, seriously, you have to keep it consistent.
Go ahead, Amber D. What you got?
So I have a little bit different perspective. I feel like complacency is natural. That is human nature, and it's unavoidable. And I'm not saying you should become complacent, but the best way to maintain that standard is to start in the beginning as being your true, authentic self. Because the easiest person to be is you. But if you're putting on a facade and you're doing the most and all that, it's going to be very hard for you to maintain that long term. You know what I'm saying? It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, so you don't want to create a standard that you can't maintain for yourself. And like Nick was saying, it does go both ways. And I feel like especially for women, us modern women, where it's like, I'm noticing my spouse has gotten real complacent. You're not even the complacent one. What about when the other person is complacent? And then how do you address that? And I think it always goes back to communication and just being willing to try new things, a variety of things. Okay, maybe 5 years ago, if y'all were starting to get a little complacent, things were getting a little boring, you would do this. But now today, 5 years later, that don't work. So you got to be willing to switch it up and try new things. And then also, in my experience, distance really does make the heart go fonder. And then also maintaining your independence and your your own identity within your union is still important. Like, you need to have your own friends. You need to have your own hobbies. You need to have your own interests, because when someone is in your face all the time, you tend to value them less. And that goes for men and for women. A lot of this is genderless, because men can get complacent with their spouses and with their wives, and women can get complacent and lazy with their husbands. So it's not like it's a gender-based thing at all. It's just it's a human nature thing. And the best way to combat that is to have a lot of self-awareness, to acknowledge when you're getting complacent, acknowledge when you're getting bored, acknowledge when you're losing interest, and then communicating that with your partner, and then working on ways to combat it. But to think that it will never happen or will never come into your union is ridiculous.
Let me ask you this. Are you willing to accept if your partner tells you that you're being complacent?
Yes.
Okay, what about you?
Because you can't because then if you can't accept them saying, hey, I feel like you've gotten complacent, that means you have no right to tell them later on in the future, hey, I feel like you've gotten complacent, or I feel like you've gotten complacent in this area, in this particular, portion of our marriage.
Which goes back to what Deacon was talking about, the 4-year contract in marriages. There you go. You see, he just sat back, he crossed his arms like, I said it at the top of the hour when I first jumped on. Boom, I said this.
Yeah, but I feel like that goes back to that just, it's kind of like a quarterly review making everything about business. But, where you just kind of assess the whole situation. It doesn't mean you're exiting, but it's just like, okay, and you can't give criticism if you're not willing to receive criticism.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
A lot of us females cannot receive criticism, especially from somebody who, watch my air quotes, who says they love us. So we're like, well, and then we talk to our homegirl. Girl, he told me I was getting fat. And she be like, girl, he don't love you. Who gonna tell you that? So there goes the distractions.
Yes.
And the homegirl just saying that just so she can get in there.
Sometimes.
Because a real friend be like, you getting big, quit lying.
See, now me, I had somebody do that. Love her to pieces. And she know I don't want her husband. Anybody that know me, I'm cool with the husband. That's how I met you. You know what I mean? But here's the deal. That was the issue. He said that she gained weight. I saw it, but she never asked me. I have gotten to the place where if you don't ask me, I ain't saying nothing. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, okay? Because remember, I'm insensitive. That's what they say. So what I did when she shared it with me, and she says it, and I looked at her, I was like, well, what happened? And she started laughing. And I said, well, yeah, what happened? She said, I know that I gained weight. And he said it just really hurt my feelings. I said, again, what happened though? So if we see it. And if he mentions it, why are we upset at him for mentioning what he sees that we've already seen?
Exactly.
So why are we upset at him, condemning him, talking about him? And then Nick, on to what Nick was talking about. You're constantly talking about your man to some other chick where she like, listen, I'm over here struggling paying these bills. He don't do what? Oh, he always at work, girl. That's what I'm trying to get.
Right.
And then as black women, we be like, oh, that's dirty. But the white women, they be like, oh, yeah, I'm done. They be like, oh, we best friends. Oh, you can date him. It's over. We got divorced.
Oh, no,
it's
we ain't
us.
about to be best friends now.
But what? No. Watch yourself. No, they both of them are already best friends.
Right.
They're already best friends, and they figure they looking at the big picture, looking at it as a business. This is what my interpretation of watching it. They moved on to marry somebody else. They sit there, boom. Oh, go ahead. You can marry him. I'm okay with him. But us as black women, we be like, no, we went together in 3rd grade. You can't go with him.
Right. That's right.
So, which takes it to where we are keeping each other down. And then you want to talk about, oh, yeah, I used to go with him. We went to the prom together. Yeah, we was together in high school or college. And now y'all 50. College, huh? Which brings me to another thing, Deacon. I got to ask you this. What's up with dudes over 40 still talking about how cold they were in high school?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, both women and men go through a change in life. Most men go through a change. They either buy a motorcycle or a vet or a boat. You know, the woman should roll with him. You know, he buy a bike. Okay, where's my helmet? You know, you got a vet. Okay, let's get the matching vet jackets. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna go hiking, okay, I'm ready. I got my backpack. And
okay.
men the same way. When a woman goes through the change, the man got to roll with the woman. Okay, okay, we're in a new chapter in life. What you got? What's the agenda?
Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now back to my question. What's up with these grown dudes talking about how cold they were in high school? That's a turnoff. Like, you 50. You haven't achieved anything else?
They're going through a change in life. They're looking for a new identity.
They focused on the old one. So
right.
help me help y'all. Help us help y'all.
We got to go back to the basics, the foundation. We're talking about miseducation.
Miseducation? Because he talking about how cold he was in basketball and he was the coldest one.
Go back to his background. What is missing there? He's trying to fill in the blanks.
And who got time to do that at 50?
Well,
70 years promise.
If you love the man, you work with him. You work with him if you love him.
Well, listen, second date, you talk about how cold you was in high school. It ain't gonna be, we cool. We cool.
Baby, you fine. You was fine then, you fine now.
Who?
Make it work. Make it happen.
Go ahead, Amber. What you got?
So I was gonna say, yeah, living in the past, and then that was in their mind, that was the highlight, that was the peak of their life, and they're past the quote unquote wall. They've hit the wall, and now their life is going on downhill. And so I feel like as a woman, if you're just starting to date a man, and he's doing that, as Mel described, like you're just starting to get to know each other, and he's using high school as a flex to impress you. That's what it sounds like. Do not try to heal him. Do not work with him. You don't owe that man your time, your attention, or your money. And I would recommend therapy. Go get some therapy. Black women are not black men's therapists, especially you're not his wife. You aren't even in a committed relationship. You're just getting to know. So no, black women, do not go and be like, well, I can help him through that. I can build him up, and I can give him self-confidence. Girl, that is not your job. No, it's deuces. Like bye. Like Mel said, it's goodbye. Like you need some help. You need to build up your self-esteem. You need to find your new purpose because you have shifted into a new phase of your life. You should not be 50 flexing on something you did 30 years ago.
And we're not at the high school reunion.
Right. So, yeah, no, there won't be no speaking life, not into a virtual stranger.
Go ahead, Nick, what you got?
I'm like, yeah. If the conversation consists of back in the day in high school all the time, we're back. Like, yeah, it's time to move on, dude. Don't nobody want to hear that. Just like don't no man when you first come in want to hear about your past relationships with other men.
Yeah, go ahead, Deacon. What you got?
Once they initially ask you a question, if you decide to answer, just leave it at that. But to continuously harp on the same thing, nah.
Okay.
Be looking out.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
This is a very interesting dynamic because you take another woman who's been married to a guy for 20, 30 years. That same guy, now she goes to the class reunion. She's impressed by this guy who's still stuck in high school. She's like, oh, wow, he's doing all these great things. He's traveling around the world, and he's still speaking about his career in football in high school. She's impressed by that.
I'm impressed if he is now a football coach.
No.
You played football, you did your thing, and now you are a coach. Like
No. That married woman who's been in that relationship for 30, 40 years.
Okay, that's different.
She sees this guy as interesting. Oh, he really got it going on.
Currently in the moment, though. You see what I'm saying? So he's going around, he's doing seminars, he's doing self-help presentations, he's coaching little kids. That's right now in this moment. I think Mel was talking about, he's exclusively talking about the past.
Having moved forward.
Piggybacked that success into the later parts of his life.
What I'm saying, that married woman will leave her husband, leave that family, and go hook up with that guy who's still stuck in the past.
Something wrong with that married woman if she gon' something wrong with that married woman if she gonna cheat with some clown talking about he was cold at football.
It happens every day.
But you know what? To use a man's logic, she hasn't left her family. She stepped away. She took a break. She paused. But she didn't actually abandon her husband or her kids. She just, had to get rocks off kind of thing. She had to taste that. She'd been waiting 30 years.
She wanted it back then, and he ain't paying no attention.
Thank you.
Like, I finally got that. Like, field goal is good. Yeah, you do have that. Some people like go back like I always wanted, and now I got the opportunity.
Yeah, this is one chance.
What do I do? Kick the field goal? Or just still watch from the bleachers? And then talk about him. Oh, he done let himself go. Oh, he done let himself go. He ain't even that cold no more, you know.
Either way, probably get talked about. So, yeah.
Interesting.
It's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
So, do y'all agree with the 4-year plan? Do you think that's something that the politicians need to visit? How many women will be forward? Just like, okay, every 4 years, go back to be like, oh, okay. You know how you had your driver's license, you had to go through the eye test? Be like, all right, we got to go. Since you said counseling helps. You go before, well, the pastor might not still be alive, but you go before a pastor and be like, okay, we'll continue this for another 4 years. Or you guys need to go ahead and divulge this marriage.
I would say maybe if it's like 18 years, because I feel like historically marriage is for about reproduction. So until the kids are grown, then you can exit.
18? Who exited after 18?
People do.
You about to retire.
It's a divorce trend of people getting divorced after 20 years of marriage.
It is.
And what is that about?
Complacency. The article summed it up saying that it's a marriage that has been plodding along on life support, and then one partner pulls the plug. So the relationship has been coasting for years. Okay. Years and years and years. And then the one partner will just be like, we're taking it off life support. And kill the marriage.
So why would you stay there for that long? Like, time is something we can't get back. I'm not about to be wasting no time.
Well, I feel like because we talked about how marriage is a business, there's advantages. People stay married for a multitude of reasons, and it's usually not for love. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, in my opinion, either. I don't think you should go into a marriage strictly based on love. There should be some actual tangible benefits to marrying someone. Both people should have tangible benefits. And more than likely, those tangible benefits are why they will stay married even after the love is gone or they've become complacent or whatever.
Find me somebody who's over 40 that will get married for love.
Exactly.
I don't know. And I'm speaking, from a female's perspective.
Being married 25 years, one spouse decides to do something else, and on your 25th anniversary, you present this person with divorce papers. Y'all get divorced. Stay divorced for 10 years. You're both doing whatever. And then after 10 years, you get back together and get remarried. That is love. And then
that's for love if you get back. Now, I do know some people who did do that, but I'm saying now. So say you've never been married. Over 40. I'm just not looking at just love. Yeah, I like you. Can I tolerate you? Okay. I'm looking at it as a business. You want the love. You're like, yeah, hopefully you are attracted to the individual. I got to be attracted to you.
Yes.
But I'm looking like, okay, stability, insurance, like medical insurance. This is a different phase in life. Like, okay, how well? Oh, you were in the military. Okay, you got great medical insurance. Okay, so if I get sick, those are the things that I actually look at. How can I save money? That's how I look at it.
That it's not just, this shouldn't be the mindset of women over 40. This should be all women, particularly young women. And I think young women need to go into marriage.
I think they are. I think the young ones are this generation now because they're okay with being sugar babies.
Exactly. And I think that's good. And like we were talking about, Deacon was talking about back in the day where there was dowries and you had to work for the father for 5 years. I had meant to touch on that where he said, things have changed. I think men have changed in the sense that they feel like sexual acts is supposed to be free. Legacy, children, offspring are supposed to be free. Marriage is supposed to be free. They don't feel like they have to work for anything, including you. So it's important for young women to understand that no, marriage is not just about love, and you need, especially if you're of childbearing age and you desire to have children, love is kind of further down on the list, especially when it comes to, because I feel like just in my own personal life, there's people that I work with that I have no romantic feelings for, or maybe we're the same sex and I'm heterosexual. So there's no sexual chemistry at all, but we make a great team. And I feel like effective parenting is about two adults working as a team to rear children. So it doesn't even have to be sexual in order to be effective, loving parents. So partnership, like you said, insurance, retirement, security, loyalty, and now modern times with like STDs and STIs, loyalty to make sure that your partner is going to prioritize your health and their sexual health. There's so much more to marriage than love.
Okay, STDs for those born before 1990, sexually transmitted disease. Those after 1990, STIs, somebody decided to change the last word, is sexually transmitted infections.
Yes.
Okay, just got to put that out there. I have to let them know when we get to the abbreviation. You'll be like, wait, what are they talking about now? So, I agree with that. Just like what Deacon was talking about, like you get a cow and you get all this other stuff if you marry your daughter, which takes me to Mike Tyson. He said he would give millions, I forgot the amount, to whoever married his daughter. Now, if you did that right now, I mean, you had people, I looked at the comments under there, Lord, they ain't pulled no punches. They was like, now we know why you paying millions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these were guys, because he wanted her, if you marry my daughter, you'll get this. And that's how it used to be, like he said. But move forward, it's like, are you desperate? And I think if I was her, I'd be like, Dad, don't be paying people to marry me. Like I'm out here like Rasputia or somebody. You know what I'm saying? It would be offensive. It would be offensive now.
Actually backwards. Because
it is.
So actually he is saying, I know she's so ugly. I'll pay somebody to marry her. Like that's to me, that's like borderline psychological abuse. That's horrible.
But that's your perception right now.
Paid the father.
Yeah, but wait, that's your perception right now in 2022. But let's take it back where Deacon was talking about back in the day.
The father would not pay.
Yes, he did. He did. When given a cow, that was pay.
Yeah.
That was pay, so it's the
back
same.
In the days, giving the cow, because if you owned a cow,
that's a lot of money.
Exactly.
So that was pay.
The father did pay. Look at the color purple.
He ain't want her. I want Nettie.
He didn't want her, but he ended with her anyway.
I don't want Celie. I want Nettie. He was mad. He had to settle. Back to what Amber was talking about with the men. Or was that you, Deacon, talking about? Yeah, I think Amber mentioned that. About settling. So he settled. So guys did settle for... He settled for Celie. He settled for what he could get. Because he needed that Maslow's hierarchy of needs met.
Right.
Love and belonging.
After her self-esteem finally was built up and she walked away from that man and did something for herself, then he started looking pitiful and wanted her back. That's what they do.
Yeah, but you can't, I ain't saying stay in the relationship after you get to where you going. But if you know that guy wasn't all the way wrong, now I ain't talking about this, I'm done with the color purple.
Oh.
But if you knew that they were not all the way wrong, here's what happens. You have somebody to help you. They help build you up. They build up your self-esteem. So we like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. And this goes both ways. You build up his self-esteem. And then now people are paying them attention that wasn't paying them attention before. And then they're like, oh, wait. And then they want to jump ship. And you're like, wait, what happened? So to me, when it's acquiring a different taste, I think what you said, like people being complacent versus the outside, that the outside distractions. Now, before, remember, it wasn't that long ago when we didn't have social media. I remember it was only a few people that had landlines. So you went out and you saw people. And that's probably why marriages lasted longer then. Then you get the phone, so now you're talking. Now you have social media, so you are really out there just cheating, doing what you want to do because you have the opportunity now to see other people and somebody else is paying you attention instead of the people that's in your little neighborhood. Go ahead, Amber, what you got?
So when you're talking about like building up your partner's self-esteem and then they built it up and then they start getting more attention because they have more confidence. And I know we've talked about it before. We said, one of the most attractive things you can do is be confident.
Right.
Accept yourself, be proud of yourself, be happy with yourself. That is what attracts people, even if maybe you're not physically that attractive. So I feel like when a person is when a person is builds you up and then they leave, it's not the other they're not wrong for that, but that's why you shouldn't build somebody up. You know what I'm saying? And because, or if you're going to build somebody up, don't do it with the expectation that, it's like a layaway plan and they're going to stay with you.
Right.
If you're going to build somebody up, build them up. And, like a Mariah Carey song, you set them free like a butterfly. And the real love will come back to you. But if you're sitting here pouring into somebody with the expectation of a return, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and you're setting yourself up for failure, because that is usually what happens. You build somebody up to where they're confident, they're happy, they're strong within themselves. Then they're going to move. They're a different person now, and they're going to move different and attract different. So if you're gonna build up, and that's why I don't encourage women to build up men. Women are not supposed to be builders. Men are supposed to build themselves up. So if you're gonna pour into somebody and build someone, I would expect them to leave, because now you contributed to them being a brand new person.
I think that's what Mike Tyson is doing with offering that money for his daughter. He's looking for somebody educated, a doctor, lawyer, a professional athlete, or whatever, to help build his daughter up. He's willing to pay that money up front because once she gets her, whatever, reaches the status she wants, she may leave that guy. No matter what she looks like, her confidence level allows her now to be who she wants to be.
Yeah, that could be. Let me give you $1 million right now because she's going to dip.
There you go.
But it depends on the caliber of person that you will attract.
$1 million.
We said $1 million is $1 million. Tax-free, especially if it's tax-free. But the thing is, when you look at that, it's like, is this person going to love my child?
Hey, with men, I don't care what she look like. In most cases, the more he have sex with her, the better she looks.
Okay, I appreciate the truth.
Put that out there.
I appreciate the truth. I appreciate that, and you're probably right. And that's why you be seeing people like, "Oh man, how she get here?"
Right. Yeah.
So.
And vice versa. Well, come on, women. Does that apply to women also?
And usually with women, we date somebody that don't nobody else want, and then all of a sudden, just like they were saying earlier, now other people are paying them attention. Nick, I think that was you. That was like, yeah, you date him, and then now they're like, oh, what's she seeing him? Now everybody wants to date this guy, and then they all high and mighty and feel like, oh, okay. I got it like that. And then they want to leave. And then like Nick was saying, and then want to come back. But do you accept them when they come back?
Yeah.
No?
Go to counseling.
Not me, personally,
Go to
no.
counseling.
Okay. It's just odd to me. It's just really, really odd to me that that people will take people back after they left them. If you left me once, you'll leave me again. It's easy. The walk away. I would be totally done. I do think that 4-year plan is good because what is it? The first 5 years are the hardest, or the first 3 in a marriage?
That's what they say. The first 5.
I thought it was a 7-year itch.
Yeah,
there is a 7-year itch, but the very beginning, I don't know if it was like 3 or 5 is like the hardest. If you make it past the 5, then I guess it'll be good. But if you're going straight in, but here's the thing, if you're going straight in and you cheating, that's different. You know, it's like, no, you never wanted to be married. Back to the scenario that I gave you with that situation with dude. He said off top, to himself, who I want to be with. But when he chose her, I see the betrayal as far as like you're with somebody else and I thought it was just strictly me. So you feel like everything was a lie. My thing is he chose you. So you don't have to worry about anybody else because he didn't settle. If he settled, then it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. Well, where is he going? Is he coming back from the store? He chose you. So he wants to come back, especially at this stage of the game. You made a conscious choice. You didn't settle. And you said, I had options and I chose you. And you're upset. And here's the thing. They weren't newly married when she found out. They were in like 5 years when she found out. And then she's like, no, when she found out, she wanted out. To me,
how long was it when she found out?
It was about 5 years after they were married. So I'm going with, hold on. I'm going with the deacon. Sound like you don't like him and you wanted out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it was 5 years after they got married.
Wait, I can't hear. You know, I can't take that. One at a time. Go ahead, Nick. What you say?
5 years after the marriage grew by, you was looking for an out.
Okay.
Don't blame it on him. Don't blame it on the fact that you're just now finding out that he was dating you while he was dating somebody else. But you wanted the out.
Okay, go ahead, Amber.
Right. Yeah. When you first gave us the scenario, it sounded like they had just got married and then she found out right after the marriage. But yeah, I feel like either she was looking for an out or like maybe she felt like something was off or things were lacking in her marriage. And then because that was how their relationship started, like all the pieces started to fall together. Because I also feel like, I'm assuming they're not exclusive. They were not exclusive and then they just got married. Like, I don't know. It was just confusing because it's like,
she was exclusive.
If he was dating 2 women, I feel like his attention was always divided.
Yeah, his attention was divided. She was exclusive. He wasn't until he chose her and then they got married. So he wasn't. Here's my thing. If she still married him, clearly he was doing what he needed to do because she had no idea. So, and that's how it's supposed to be. If you're going to have a side chick, your main chick should not have any clue that anything is going on over there. Now, once that come out, then here you go. I.e., how this whole Nia Long thing came. That's what I think. I think the chick was like, well, wait a minute. She's moving to the town because, see, they had a long-distance relationship with Nia Long and the coach. But they've been together, and they have a child. A son, I believe. And then now she's moving. Now I think somebody was like, oh, wait, you're not going to be available for me. So I need to tell this. What's your thoughts on that, Deke?
Yeah, this is getting a little deep now. Because oftentimes, both the man and the woman, there's always somebody in the past that they still have connections with. So moving forward to a new relationship doesn't mean you lose feelings for that friend.
Okay.
So you have to be careful that if you're not spending time with the one you want, you love the one you with. I'm not saying that's good or bad or indifferent. I'm saying that's a reality. So
and it is.
The importance of spending time together. Time is crucial.
Now, if you can't love the one you want, love the one you're with. Boom. That's pretty much what I was saying with his scenario. He chose her.
Yes.
So it wasn't like he settled. So I just couldn't get that, but I did. I was like, I think she just wanted out. Now let's get a little deep into this. We got 2 minutes. Like we got 2 minutes. Dudes really be sitting there like, okay, well, I just put up with her. Tell the truth, Deacon.
What do you mean?
When you said love the one you with, if you can't love the one you want, love the one you with, so you just like, oh, okay, I just put up with her. You up here, we Mr. and Celie in it.
I'm saying if I want to go on a cruise or a bike ride, you like, no, I'm hanging out with the girls that weekend. I'm going. If this person over here is available, ready, I'm going. Because clearly you don't want to be with me.
But if you with the person, so you will go ahead with the side chick that want to go ahead and go wherever she's trying to go.
Yes, if I've asked you repeatedly, please, spend some time. Let's do something special together. You're like, no, I don't want to do that. That's you. Do you. Let me do me. So I'm leaving a whole lot out, but I'm trying to get to the meat of the issue. Do you want to spend time with each other or not? That's the question.
Okay.
Do you want to be with me? You want to be with whoever? Your job, your work, your girl, your pastor, the church, what? Your business?
That goes both ways. So if I'm into something that you're not into and I ask you, you expect me to do what you want me to do, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. And a lot of times in marriages, it does not. Right. They expect you to do what they want you to do, to do what they want, but they won't reciprocate. It's like, I don't feel like doing that. Don't sit there and say you will stay home. I'm not going to go anywhere. Are you sure? You can go out. No, I'm not going to go anywhere. And then you get a phone call 5 minutes later. Oh, I'm going to meet the boys at such and such. Oh, the boys a lot because you just said you wasn't going nowhere. Exactly. Sit your tail down.
There you go.
Now you're making them sit down.
I would say I don't agree with side pieces. If that's how you feel, just leave the marriage. But it's to piggyback off what Nick is saying. Yeah, exactly. It's not even. It's not even. But a good way back to business, marriage as a business, is if you actually document and keep track of the times you do stuff that you didn't want to do. So then when it's your turn, you can go back and say, well, actually, I went and watched the basketball game with you live, even though I really didn't want to go. So you can come to my sewing competition. And because I feel like I don't think it's intentional a lot of times. It's just because we're naturally kind of self-absorbed people. When you see things from your own perspective, your own experience, you are going to pay less attention to the favors they did for you than the favors you did for them. But if you keep it all documented, it's more likely to stay even 50-50 balance of doing things the other person doesn't want to do.
If you do that, then the other party will call you petty. Oh, you being petty.
Right.
Call it what you want.
It's intention. Being intentional with your time.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, lovely people, I thoroughly enjoyed you. Look, I thoroughly enjoyed you big time. Let's give it up. Thank you, Deacon, for coming on. I truly appreciate you. Let's give him a round of applause. Get his perspective.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. All right, look at that. That was a big one. Look, I like when the people want to come on and be brave. He came on. Listen, that disguise is so funny. And y'all know I was rolling. That's funny.
When first came,
I know I'm gonna play this back. I'm gonna play this back and be laughing because that's funny. Like, I'm brave. Watch this. Oh.
Playing tricks on me at first, like.
I thought it was a filter.
Oh, that'd be cool if it was a filter.
Yeah.
That would have been so cool if it was a filter. All right. Let me give you guys today's footnote. Here's the deal. Acquiring a different taste is irreversible. Okay, so I want you guys to pay attention to that. When you acquire a different taste, it's irreversible. Because once you get that, you're like, oh, okay, you might want more and more. The 4-year plan contract, to revisit to say, hey, should we get married? Should we continue in this thing? Or should we call it quits? I like that. And here's the deal. People should practice that during dating, because there's a lot of people who date for 10 years and never get the ring. All right. So listen, I love you guys for listening. You already know that. Thank you for joining in to Shop Talk with Mel. Follow us on all social medias. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. It is at Shop Talk with Mel. And you can always listen to us because we are podcasting on your favorite podcast station. All right. So find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people, you know what it is. Shop Talk every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon.